Hello children, today we are going to start with our civics chapter 1, that is democracy. So before starting that chapter, I would like to give you some introduction about this. As you all know that India is a diverse country and it is very big. So when we talk about a diverse country, it means the people in this country belong to various backgrounds. And when the people belong to various backgrounds, their opinions, their thoughts, their culture, everything differs. And when these differences are there, it often leads to conflicts. And to resolve these conflicts and to bring all the people to a common platform, we need an organization to establish certain rules and regulations which can treat everybody as equals. So the organization which is meant for this sake is government. So today, as we are going to study about democracy, it is a form of government. Or there are three types of government: democracy, monarchy and dictatorship. So in this chapter, we are going to study about democracy, which is prevalent in our country. Or we can say that India is a democratic country. So what is basically democracy? The word democracy is derived from a word democratia. Demos means people, cratia means power or rule. So we can say that democracy means rule of the people. When we say that India is a democratic country, the people of our country are having the freedom to elect their own representatives. In this manner, the people used to vote and they used to elect their representatives, and those representatives in turn become the part of government. And when these elected people becomes the part of government, they works on our behalf. In this manner, the common people of our country, they are indirectly participating in the government of the country or the functioning of the country. When these elected representatives make laws for our country, they are answerable to the people, or they need to explain the people about their plans and policies. So whatever policies they make, they are answerable to the people, and even they need to defend their policies which they have enforced. In our country, as it's a democratic country, people have got the freedom to express their thoughts and religions. It means people are supreme. It is the people only who gives the government the right to make laws for the whole country and to every citizen of the country. So in this manner we can say democracy is the rule of people, which gave all the rights to the hands of the people, starting from electing the representatives to the making of laws and enforcing them. Next, moving forward, we are going to discuss about monarchy. The word monarchy has been derived from a word monarchia, which means the rule of one or power in the hands of one. Monarchy basically means the rule of one person, that is a king or a queen. In a monarchy, all the powers are in the hands of the king or queen, and they are assisted by a group of members or advisors. The decision taken by the king or the queen is the final decision, and the people don't have any right to raise their voice against these decisions, and neither the king or the queen has to defend its policies to the people. In this manner, in a monarchy, it is a hereditary rule which continues for a longer time. As the king or queen dies, then his or her elder son used to take up the rule. In this manner, monarchy is a basically family rule which continues for a longer time period. Example of monarchy: Morocco, Saudi Arabia and Jordan. These are some countries which are still practicing the concept of monarchy. On the other hand, we discussed about democracy too. Best example of democracy is India and USA. These two countries are following democratic practices in their countries. Next, we are going to discuss about dictatorship. Dictatorship is basically a forceful rule. It means if already one person is ruling, and the power is taken from him forcefully. That is termed as dictatorship. Dictatorship mostly lead to military rule or to a person who is very powerful, who can forcefully take the rule from the ruling government. In a dictatorship, people don't have any type of rights. All the powers are there in the hands of dictator. People can neither raise their voice nor express their thoughts and opinions in front of the dictator. In dictatorship, dictator is the one person who is having all the powers and the right to take all the decisions is only in his hands. He is not having even some people to assist him. He is the only one person who is liable to take all the decisions in a dictatorship. Examples of dictator are Saddam Hussein of Iraq. So now we'll be studying about origin of democracy. The word democracy can be related to Greece, or we can say it originated in Greece because democracy is a Greek word. It started in the Greek city of Athens, where an assembly of few people, they used to elect the representatives. So we can relate this concept of democracy with Greek. In Roman Republic too, there were some signs of democracy because there too some of the posts were being filled by the election process or by voting. If we talk about India, Vaishali in Bihar, that was the first republic which adopted the concept of democracy. Earlier, the concept of sanghas, ganas and village panchayats were prevalent in many of the republics. Even panchayat system is used in our country till now. But when we talk about democracy, modern democracy is completely different from the earliest democracies. Britain is considered as the first modern republican country. After the end of civil war around 17th century, when the rule of king came to an end in Britain, that time the power was divided into two divisions, that is among two groups. So those two groups or assemblies were House of Commons and House of Lords. In this manner, the power in Britain was divided among two groups. France even became a democratic country after French Revolution in 1787. The United States of America remained a partial democracy from 1787 to 1965, and the reason for this was that the right to vote was not given to all the people. Let me tell you that in earlier times the right to vote was based on the ownership of property, and in that too even only the men are allowed to vote and women get the right to vote very late. And even the concept of universal adult franchise was applied very late in all the countries. When we discuss about this right to vote or about democracy, First World War was announced so that it can give a way for the concept of democracy to be applied in all the countries. And after the First World War from 1914 to 1919, many of the countries were in favor of this concept of democracy. But after the Second World War, the norms changed and many countries started adopting for the concept of democracy or to have a democratic form of government. Now we are going to study about why democracy and key elements of democracy. Why democracy means after Second World War, why the countries prefer to go for a democratic form of government, or what are the basic features of having a democratic form of government which provoked the countries to have this type of system. So first basic feature or key element of democracy is formal equality. Equality and justice are the two basic features of a democracy. Equality is a condition that leads to justice. Equality basically means that all the people should be treated as equal in spite of their caste, religion, gender, wealth, sex, etc. When we say that equality prevails in our country, it means all the people are equal, whether a rich or a poor. All the people are given the right to vote in a democratic country, whether the person is the president of the country or a poor man. In this manner, equality ensures that all the people are equal, and if this system of equality is not practiced anywhere, it leads to injustice. That's why we can say that equality and injustice work hand in hand and they are inseparable from each other. In a democratic country, all the adults are having the right to vote, and the value of every vote is same, whether it is of a president or of a poor person. So this was about the formal equality. Now the next key element of democracy is decision making process. The people of a democratic country participate in the decision making process. It means they become a part of the government. Although people indirectly participate in the formation of government through their elected representatives, as we have discussed that all the people are having the right to vote. So through this voting power, they elect the representatives, and these representatives then become the part of our government, and when they make laws, they keep in mind the views and needs of the people, those who have elected them. So in this manner, all the citizens of the country, they become a part of the governing system, and the person who is making decisions on their behalf is answerable to those people. And if the people are not satisfied by the working of the present government, they can even change the government, because in a democracy we are having a system of re-election after every 5 years. So if the people are not satisfied, they will not vote for that current government in the next re-election, and then the government will lose. Next factor or next key element is accommodation of differences. When we say that India is a diverse country, so diversity often leads to conflicts, or we can say differences result in some contradictions. When the people are different as per their language, their religion, their caste, their culture, and especially thoughts and views, it often leads to contradictions or differences or conflicts among the people, which in turn lead to loss of life and property. So for that, we need something so that people can come out of this type of attitude. For that, the main thing which is needed, that we should be tolerant enough to give space to all the religion and all the culture and the people belonging to different backgrounds. When we talk about tolerant attitude, it means that we should be able to handle the things in a peaceful manner, and our constitution gives us a way to deal with the things in a better manner, and it provides space to all the differences. In a democracy, decisions are mostly taken by the majority party or the ruling party. So maximum of the parties which are in a country are a part of majority, and minority is also there, but it is not only bound to the majority that the majority should take the decision. The opinions of minority also matters. So whatever decision are being taken by the majority party, they need to get the concern of minority too, and in this manner the country is able to develop in a better manner by the views of all the people, those who are belonging to both the sections of the government. Next feature of democracy is enhancing human dignity. It means developing or increasing human respect. If we talk about democracy, we know that democracy is a rule of people, and it enhances or it increases human dignity, because in this concept people elect their own representatives who make rules for them and work on their behalf. Or we can say that the people make rule for themselves and are bound to follow those rules and regulations. Democracy basically deals with social, political and economic equality. It means nobody can be discriminated on the basis of their religion, culture or their background. So when we talk about human dignity, every religion and every culture get the same type of respect, and the people belonging to that culture are being treated in the same manner. So in this manner, A democratic government, it increases the human dignity, or we can say it gives equal respect to every person, whether the person is rich or poor, or belonging to a high caste or low caste, or belonging to different backgrounds. Now next feature is universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise means all the adults, those who are above 18 years of age, are given the right to vote. And when a person is having the right to vote, he or she is allowed to elect the representatives of their own choice. As you all know, in earlier times, only men are allowed to vote. And even in that too, those who belong to a wealthy family or those who are rich. But now, with this concept, every citizen of the country who is above 18 years of age has got the right to participate in the election process and to choose the representative of their own choice. In India, the voting age is 18 years and all the citizens, those who are above 18 years of age, have the right to vote, whether men or women, rich or poor, educated or uneducated. Our next feature is elections. Continuous elections after regular intervals are an important feature of democracy. If we talk about India, Election Commission is an independent body who takes care of the election processes in India, or we can say that it is the body which is responsible to conduct elections in India. During the time of election, state is divided into small constituencies, and from every constituency, some representatives are being nominated by various parties, and the representatives which are nominated, later on the people vote in or against them. And even a list is generated which consists of all the names of all the people, those who are above 18 years of age, and that list is called as electoral list or voter list. When the parties nominate their candidates, the people vote in or against them, and the party which gets the maximum vote comes into power. For this, the party members, they need to work out, the party need to define its policies for the coming years if they will come to rule. So in this manner, the representatives are being elected, and as we know that elections are conducted after every 5 years. So if the people are not satisfied with the working of the government, in the next election they may not vote for that particular party, and they will bring other party into power. In this manner, regular election limits the power of government and gives the power in the hands of the people, which led our country to the path of development. Next key feature is political parties. Political party is basically a group of people, those who are having same beliefs or same thoughts over the political issues. In this, the people, those who are having same sort of beliefs, they combine to form a particular political party. And then these political parties, they try to win the confidence of the people when they are going for elections, and in this manner they try to come to power. When we discuss about political parties, there are many political parties in our country, and every political party puts up their candidate from each constituency, and the party which comes to power is called as ruling party, and the other parties are called as opposition party. In this manner, political parties play a very important role in our government system, because when we talk about majority party, the decisions which are taken by the majority party are always being checked or criticized by the opposition party, and in this manner opposition is very important, because the government has to think about its decisions before enforcing them. As the opposition is always checking the working of ruling party, so if one particular party want to come in power again, then willingly or unwillingly they have to work for the betterment of the people to win the elections in the coming years. So next and the last key feature of democracy is coalition government. What is basically coalition government? As we have discussed now, that for making a government, a political party needs to get more than half of the seats of legislature. So if any single party is not able to win those many seats of legislature, then one or more than one parties, they come together to form the government. So the government which is formed by two or more than two parties together is called as coalition government. The example of coalition government is the present NDA government. In this, the people have elected Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister, and it is a coalition government which is formed by the alliance of many other smaller parties. This is basically a post-poll alliance, means after the voting is done, if the party has not got the majority, then they used to merge or combine with other smaller parties. Although in these elections BJP has got individual majority in Lok Sabha, but still the alliance has formed the government in the country. So with this, our chapter is over. So before winding up today's class, I would like to revise all the important points related to the chapter. Democracy is a form of government in which people elect their own representatives. In a monarchy, the head of the royal family is the head of the nation. In a dictatorship, people have no rights and all the powers are in the hands of one man. Mahajanpad of Vaishali was the world's first republic. Britain is the first modern democracy. Equality and justice are the central theme of a democracy. Democracy enhances human dignity because it is a rule by the people themselves. Universal adult franchise means that all adults in a country are allowed to vote. Regular elections are an essential feature of a democracy. In a democracy, people participate in the decision-making process through elections. If no single party wins a majority, coalition government is formed. So this was all about the chapter. Now we are going to wind up with today's class, and in the next class we'll be starting with Geography chapter 1. So goodbye for now. Stay home, stay safe.